Hi, welcome to the channel. My name is Simon, and together with my wife Kathy and our two hounds, Wally and Coco, we continuously cruise the canals and rivers of the UK in our narrowboat. Today we are leaving from Bramworth Lock to continue our cruise around onto the new Junction canal. Here we are passing through the leisure moorings, CRT. These are part of the ones that we saw below the lock. Up ahead we will shortly be taking a sharp right hand turn going on to the new Junction canal. The new Junction canal was built in 1905 to link the Aire Calder with the Don Navigation and South Yorkshire canals, which feed right up to Sheffield. It's a very straight canal. I think it's the most modern canal in the UK. It has 6 bridges, which vary between lift and swing bridges, and it has 1 lock. It is not a canal that I enjoy doing in the wind, because there have been times when we've had a crosswind which has trapped us against bridge landings and the such. So yeah, it doesn't hold many good memories, but it's certainly a shortcut to get down to Goole and onwards towards Leeds in the opposite direction. Willie's now comfortable under his umbrella. Looking around, he's walked this towpath many times. Not sure if he remembers this boat we're going past here on the left used to have a cousin of his, lady dog. Sadly it passed away a while back. Taking a sharp right hand turn ahead, turning to starboard, and that will bring the Don Aqueduct into view, which I'll give you the details of as we go through it. If we go left here, first place we get to is Barnby Dun, then you continue up all the way to Sheffield. The Tinsley flight is a flight of locks up to Sheffield, which you have to complete with a lockie. It's fairly challenging. Some of the locks are interesting to say the least, but we've done the trip up there twice. Drawback in Sheffield is moorings are very short supply, and it's quite a hard slog to go all the way up there only to find that there is nowhere to moor. You can pay for moorings, but that doesn't guarantee that there will be any there when you get there. It's a pity, because Sheffield's got some nice museums and restaurants, etc., but you are reasonably limited to how long you can stay there. But certainly the initial part of the trip from here to Mexborough, which is where you meet up with the Tinsley flight just after Mexborough, is very pleasant. Here we are, swinging around the corner. Boat's got a slight lean to it, high speed. So we'll start to see the Don Aqueduct coming up once we finish the turn. Start straightening the boat out, aiming in the right direction. Wally's definitely happier now. He can just lay in the shade and relax. Now see the Don doors in front of us. The Don Aqueduct actually takes the canal over the River Don. When the River Don floods, you don't want the water feeding uncontrollably into the canals. That will cause damage in a very big area. So if the river starts to rise, they close these two big steel guillotine doors. Now at this end, the River Don is still a tidal river. So if you've got a high tide coming in and you've got a lot of fresh from rainfall or whatever coming down, this river gets quite excited. So especially during winter, these Don doors are closed quite regularly, just to prevent the River Don overflowing into the canals. So we're actually going across in a trough over the river, and you'll see the river shortly. A tight squeeze for the commercials when they come through here. They always seem to manage. So the thing is, with this set of doors, they are electrically operated, but there is no power here, so if CRT want to close them, they have to bring a portable generator and connect it up and drop the doors. And here you see the river. Now the bank on the left is a fairly good indication of how high it can become. That's the levels it reaches, or I hope it doesn't reach, but it has in the past, causing significant floods. You can see at the moment the way the umbrella's bumping around, the wind is getting up, but a lot of this canal will be sheltered from it in the direction that it's coming. This canal was actually built specifically to join the Aaron Calder to Sheffield. The other option was to widen and modify the locks on the Stainforth and Keadby, but this was seen as the more financially viable option, was to dig this canal across. Now we've got a cruiser that was on the bridge landing. Finished closing the bridge, it's now coming towards us. We will pass it on our port side. But you can see now, even though there was a bit of wind over the aqueduct, here it's very still, not a ripple on the water. There are some very big cruisers around, because hit from these areas you have access to the sea. So if you have the equipment and the coonies, you can go across to Europe. Hopefully my self-row binging didn't get picked up by the microphone. You can see Wally's still panting a little bit and coming into the bridge landing. Kathy and Coco will jump off as usual and operate it as a swing bridge. This bridge we've had an issue with on several occasions, where either it won't operate or we've gone through and then it won't close. Now if it won't close, it kind of upsets anybody who's driving around here, but not much we can do about it, so then you just have to wait for CRT to arrive. And because it's sequenced with a key, unless it's closed up and all the interlocks and safeties are closed up, you can't remove your key, so you just sit here. Must admit though, normally pretty good. 10-15 minutes, they arrive, and off goes the crew. Go and operate. While you're watching closely, make sure that it's all done properly. I'll just temporarily hold the boat on with a rope. The sun continues to shine down on us gloriously. Again, a little bit of a breeze coming through. Odd gust here and there. Stand there looking lost. Oh no, there goes the phone again. See how things go. Edit these bings out, I think. Now you wait for the sirens to sound. There come the booms down. Sirens are going off. I can prep to move off the landing. Shove the nose off. Try not to fall in. Ooh, a little bit of a twitch. Again, gallop back. Gate's now swinging. Sorry, bridge is now swinging open, and we can proceed through. Looks like Wally being in the shade's cooled him down a bit. He's not panting anymore. Not looking at his water bowl. Slide our way through the gap and then stop at the landing on the other side. House on the right hand side used to have a big Alsatian German Shepherd. He used to ambush you as you came through the bridge. The heart rate pounding a little bit. So that's low lane swing bridge navigated. I'll just wait for Kathy and Coco to close the bridge, raise the traffic booms, lock it out, climb on board. The next one is just visible in the distance. The next one is a lift bridge. Kathy's now aboard, so we can set sail. Maneuver to the next bridge. The next one coming up is called Top Lane lift bridge. It's quite hard to see the bridge landing. It's on the right hand side, but it's behind the trees. It'd be quite nice if the trees would get cut back a little bit just to make it easier. But this one and the next bridge, both of them hidden behind the trees. This one not as bad. There we go, skid into the landing. This landing quite often gets our dogs very excited because cows come down and stand right next to the landing and look the dog in the eye and kind of say, "Oi." But this time it looks like it's empty. No bovine beasts are going to upset our hounds. Do the usual gentle glide. These bridges are lifted by 2 hydraulic ram cylinders underneath, counterbalance on the top. You only open them as high as you need to so you don't knock anything off the top of the boat. Because if you open them to their near vertical position, quite often they don't want to come back down again. So here we go. Wait for the booms again. There you go. Booms going down on the left hand side. There is one on the right. You could have just seen it by the tree. And now we wait for the bridge to lift. Must admit, with some of these bridges you do have to wonder what would happen. Well, you know what would happen if it came down. You'd be flat. But I'm guessing they've got enough safety restrictions in the lines, non-return valves, etc. to prevent it, but you could get sprayed with oil quite easily. You see the bridge is just lifted to that position. They do go up almost vertical. You have seen it being done. Not only does it lead to possible damage to the bridge, but it means there's a long delay with the bridge opening and the bridge closing. It's quite a short little stop point. Very nice house. I got stuck here one time, and because the bridge was not operating, the lady of the house even offers a cup of tea. Very nice. Again, we'll just let the nose hang out a little bit. Ease the stern into the bank. Wait for the crew. Look off the front of the boat, you can see a fisherman having a nice relaxing day. Well, hopefully it's relaxing. Not sure if fishing is relaxing. Suppose you always want to catch the big one. Just have to keep an eye on how far the bow turns out, because you really don't want to pull a Suez and sit across the canal. There you go. I'm going to just ease it with a rope just to make sure it doesn't go too far, but I won't pull it in, I'll just leave it hanging like that. You can see from Wally's tail wagging that Kathy and Coco are back in town. Yep, they've climbed aboard. His rudder piece is showing his enthusiasm, his excitement. He knows the food maker is back. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, click the like button and comment. Until next week, goodbye.